Okay, hi guys, thank you so much for watching our video. This is one of many series of videos that we are introducing to the general public. Today I have with me Simon Coombes from Direct Wealth. We are here at the Business Depot office in James Street in the Valley. So we hope you enjoy the video, and hopefully Simon answers a lot of questions that the public have out there in terms of what do you need to be able to purchase your property. So Simon, thank you so much for joining us.
No worries.
Really, let's talk about what I wanted to find out is how does the first home buyer know that they can afford a property? And in terms of budgeting, talk to me a little bit about what's involved from that avenue.
Yep, okay, easy one. I guess probably the biggest place to start, a lot of people come in with wanting to purchase a house, everyone wants to get it, it's the Australian dream. But with everything, it comes back down to budgeting. Mm-hmm. Everyone comes in, the first thing I say is, look, let's get a budget and work out what's achievable for you. Everyone's paying rent, so we can factor that into mortgage payments, interest rates, things like that.
Okay.
But like some common things we see are people are unrealistic with their budget. So people will say, this is what my rent is, my car expenses, telephone, internet, but they don't factor in the additional costs that come through. So birthdays, going out drinking, because we live pretty comfortable lifestyles.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah, dinners, restaurant, Guzman and Gomez. Uber Eats when we're hungover on a Sunday morning. All those kind of things that we don't factor in. So that's the thing, it all comes back down to having a realistic budget and understanding what we can achieve.
So you have a look at that budget and then you actually, I suppose, go through it with them and make sure that it is super realistic. And then what do you do after that? Like what happens with that budget? How long do they have the budget for?
I get my clients to cheat a little bit. So everyone gives me a budget and then I kind of say, look, here's a discussion. Maybe there's options out there you can use which will do your budgeting for you. So Money Brilliant, Acorns, My Prosperity, bankstatements.com. They automatically feed through to your bank accounts and they can actually give you an airtight budget of what you're spending.
Oh my God, I need to download one of those.
Yeah, oh no, it's heartbreaking. So you'll go through it and you'll say, look, I've spent this much money at this club, and it'll actually be more specific with what your costs have been. And from then, it's a discussion. Look, based on the budget, the current time, you probably can't afford a house, or if you want to be able to afford a home, what things would you be happy to take out? So if we look, you're spending a lot of money on personal trainers, where would you be happy to maybe sacrifice one option if that'll help out to save $60 a week? Or everyone says no, they love their personal trainers, which is fair enough. But these are the discussions we have to try and say, look, that's basically just it.
Because I know when we were actually looking at purchasing our first home, we made a decision of no coffees, no dinners, no going out. Our friends didn't know who we were for about 6 to 7 months. But that's just something we had to do to come up with that deposit amount in order to not having to pay the mortgage insurance.
That's what it comes down to.
Things like that.
Little things. So when I first moved to Brisbane, I'd go out and I'd buy lunch for $10. I'd get a drink, $13. I'd have 2 coffees a day. You're already sitting at $20. That's $140. Where
a week.
Stuff like people can easily save over a year. That's $7,000.
And do you work closely with mortgage brokers that you can refer your clients to, or?
Yeah, very much so. Because that's the big thing. Everything it's working backwards. So financial planning, you set a goal and then we work backwards to it. So if someone comes in and says, Simon, I want to buy a house. Okay, great. How much do you want to purchase? I want to buy an apartment. It's gonna be around $550,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. Okay, great. So then we work backwards. You need to have a deposit. Do you want a 5, 10? Does first home buyers come in? Do we have to worry about things like lender's mortgage insurance? And then we sit there and say, okay, what's your current deposit? Great, I've got $10,000, bit of a shortfall. We need to get to X amount, and then we work out a time frame to get that savings plan.
So it could be 6 months, it could be 12 months, whatever they need to do and how serious they are, I suppose.
So it's a broad discussion. So if someone says, I want to buy an apartment for $500,000, I'll say, great. If you put a 10% deposit, which means $50,000, first home buyers, no stamp duty, then the issue we have is, I've only got $20,000. Okay, all right, well, how much do you save? based on the budget, nothing. Okay, great. What do we want to take out of the budget? Okay, we're going to cut out pizza.
Guzman Gomez.
An extra pair of shoes. That's when the girls flip out at me. And what things can we take out? And then what time frame? So if you can save $100 a week, then you'll be able to save that extra 30 grand in 6 years. But if you can save $300 a week, then you're 2 years away.
Yeah, okay.
And then it's a broader discussion. So what's lender's mortgage insurance? How much does it cost? Things like that.
Okay.
Which then just gets a bit more complex.
And is that something that you can comment on, or is that something that you would
rather? We can give a bit of info on
it,
but it's more something I'd work in with a mortgage broker.
Okay. To just give our viewers a little bit of an insight without, stepping over.
Yeah, okay. So lender's mortgage insurance, that's an insurance we pay for to protect the bank.
Okay.
So if we go in and say, look, we want to buy a property for 500 grand, and we put in a $50,000 deposit, and then we can't make the repayments, and then the bank comes to take our house back off us, they'll sit there and say, they might only be able to sell it for 420,000. So the risk, the bank has lost that $30,000. So we've got to pay an insurance so the bank can collect that money.
Okay.
So that's the gist of it. And
how much deposit would you need to avoid having to pay?
20%.
20%, okay.
Yeah, so which is hard in today's climate. So if 500 grand property, if you need to have $100,000 as a deposit.
That's a lot of money these days, and that budget really, we'd all hate to budget, but that is really the nuts and bolts of it, isn't it? That you really need to be diligent with your savings.
It's massive.
And how you're spending it.
And that's the thing, like trying to get someone who can save 100 grand in a reasonable period of time
it's hard.
It's tough.
And other than, Simon, the budget part that we talked about, which seems to be one of the biggest issues, are there any other issues or, I suppose, roadblocks that you see or that your current clients or past clients have come to you with that you feel might help our first home buyers out there get a bit of insight?
There's a bit of a trade-off. Okay. So what we actually find is, at the moment, we've got record low interest rates. So if I was to go in and apply for a loan, the mortgage broker would walk you through it, but they sit there and say, look, banks are currently offering rates at 4.5. They put a margin in it, so if rates go up, it's safe lending practices, but they'll sit there and say, look, we'll put a 2.5% to 3% rate increase, and if we can still service it based on that rate increase, granted that's debt servicing ratio, so that's just being able to afford the repayments.
Okay.
That's not factoring in deposits, but that, at the moment, it makes it really a lot more affordable for a lot of people to get in with record low interest rates.
Okay.
But with record low interest rates, it's likely that eventually they'll
go up.
Yes. And then the issue is, this is getting deeper, but property, like everything, is based on supply demand.
Yes.
A lot of demand based on record low interest rates, but if interest rates start to go back, that could affect demand, which will bring house prices down. So there's potential opportunities saying house prices may, or apartment prices may potentially come down, but the issue is you may have to pay a higher interest rate to be able to maintain the affordability of those.
Yeah, okay. And with first home buyers, what role do you think parents can play, especially if those kids are living at home at the moment? Because I know I read a book and a few months ago, and I've read it 4 times actually within the last 4 or 5 months.
What book can you say?
And The Barefoot Investor.
Yep, okay.
And I've said to my mum, I remember the first time I read it, I said to my mum, I wish you would have given this to me when I was 19 or 20, because I would have been super rich by now. And it's not, look, and I'm not saying that it's probably the best book for everyone. It was one of like a very influential book for me in terms of where I am wanting to buy my next home in the next 6 months. So for me, it really got me thinking about that budget. And the way that he explains it, it was, dummy terms, which is what I needed, because I hate finances. It's jargon to me. So
that's spot on. So people need to get in their head that savings or generating savings is delayed spending. So it means like if you can save more now, means you can spend more later. So if you put that money, it's going to go into an account and an interest. You can buy shares, you can buy property, but you're delaying your gratification of being able to spend it now, so you can have more to spend later.
Yes. Okay.
And it's a behavioural bias called hyperbolic discounting, where people have more, they get a better emotional response out of going, I'm going to go buy a $2,000 TV, but have a $2,000 credit card that I'll pay 20% on. And everybody does it because they get that feel-good thing of having it now.
It's an instant gratification, isn't it, that we're all chasing?
Yeah. So that's where it kind of comes back to. Like, so with Barefoot Investor, that's their whole approach. If you can put little bits and chip away, but we see commonly everyone's moving back in with their parents to save money. Everyone, like a lot of my friends are kind of, it's not easy for me to put down on an advice document, go live with your parents again, because everyone would be like.
And I suppose, obviously this may be a mortgage broking question, but I know that somewhere you do get the rental ledgers that actually do count as that genuine savings, I've heard. So if you have someone that's moving back home, that kind of may stuff that up, wouldn't it, for...
Yeah, it's a bit more of a mortgage broking question, but with it, it depends on different banks. Different banks have different lending requirements, so that's why I usually, with my clients, I always say go and speak to a mortgage broker as opposed to directly to a bank. Because a mortgage broker might sit there and say, look, based on your scenario, these are the 3 best banks that'll lend with you. These banks probably won't really look at it very favourably, and they'll come back and say, look, based on lending requirements, and then they'll look at what are the best features. Do you have additional cash flow? Do we look at offsets? They go into a much broader conversation, but that's probably the best place to start.
And just towards the end of this series, Simon, what about, and it just popped up in my head, what about first home buyers that are looking to purchase their first home? I've met a few over the last couple of weeks talking about how it's probably not the best thing that they've just gone and taken out a loan on a brand new car. They've got a car on finance or something like that. So obviously stop doing that. Is that what you're saying to those people out there? Because does that kind of count as a liability?
I'm probably not the best person to ask. I just bought a car I shouldn't have. But the trade-off is, like with me, I can run it through the business, it's tax deductible, I can depreciate it.
But for people that don't have that
but
luxury.
For other people that can't take advantage of those situations, some people it's a really good strategy, but for other people that want to go out and get this nice car, like it's probably not justified, because again, it comes back to the budget. If you're spending $200, $300, $400, $500 a month on a vehicle, that's coming off your budget, that comes off your serviceability and your ability to repay a mortgage. So it comes down to, what do you want now? Do you want your car? Do you want your TV? Do you want your handbag? Or guys, do you want a PS4?
I want it all.
Yeah, as we all do. Or do you want to
Gen Y problems, right?
Or do you want to get in and make a start on a house? So I guess that's a trade-off.
And last question. What, I know in property management and real estate, we work out a tenant's affordability based on it's 30% of your weekly net income that you've earned that you can work out. Is there a formula that you can advise anyone that people typically look at? So if you're earning X amount a week take home, you should really be saving 20% or 30% or whatever every single week? Or...
It's hard to say, because it's different people, different situations. So
as a bare minimum, is there something that you would recommend as a financial advisor? Or,
no, not really. It's based on your lifestyle. So we try not to come in and ask anyone to make too big a sacrifices, but it's all based on objectives. So I've got some clients who earn 300 grand a year, but they only save $10,000 a year. But I've got some clients who earn 60 grand a year and they save 15,000. So, and the people earning 60 grand a year can comfortably save it, whereas the people earning 300 really struggle, and they're saying, look, $200 a week's a stretch.
Because they've got higher expenses, don't they?
Yeah,
and the lifestyle.
Yeah, and so it's all relative. So set your objective and work backwards. If I want a house, I need this much of a deposit. My mortgage broker said if I can get this much deposit, I'll reduce lender's mortgage insurance. So if I put away this much money, I can get to this deposit. Try and keep it as simple as possible, and then really work hard on your budgeting, because it all comes down to budgeting. That's the advice.
And could you just tell us again those apps or websites?
Yeah, so this isn't like formal advice, this is just ones I use personally. Acorns is a great one for showing your. It's a heartbreaker, but it shows your expenses for weekly months.
I'm not going to be using that one.
Money Brilliant does the same thing. My Prosperity and bankstatements.com.au. So they're ones I personally use.
Okay. For budgeting.
Yeah.
Alright.
Money Brilliant's free. Acorns is free. Again, not advice, but they're just ones I use personally.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Simon. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks.